The world outside measures all things by their newness. But in here, true value lies in the potential for rebirth. People call it rust, corrosion. They see it as a sign of decay, an inevitable end. But if you look closer, it is a language. Every dark brown streak is a story of seasons past. Every crack is a memory of a rugged path. And there are those who spend a lifetime learning this language. They are not ordinary mechanics. They are listeners. Listening to the silent laments of steel. Their hands calloused and stained with grease. Can read the stories the naked eye cannot see. They look at a pile of scrap and do not see an end. They see a soul waiting to be awakened. The process of revival does not begin with building. It begins with understanding. You must take apart every piece, peel back every layer of time, to find where the wound began, where life stood still. This is not destruction. It is an autopsy to find the path to healing. The silent dialogue begins between the craftsman and the memories of steel. Each layer of rust is a page in the story, needing to be turned with care. The thick, black oil flows out as if shedding the burdens of years past. The wheel ceases its journey, making way for a revival. And then fire and metal meet in a dance of recreation. Using a brick as a brace, he patiently removes every detail. The power of a lever separates what time has bound together. The work repeats, demanding absolute focus. He cleans every crevice where dirt and neglect had taken hold. When the outer shell is opened, the heart of the machine is revealed. The welding flame erupts again, mending the wounds. Every spark is a promise of strength reclaimed. Next, the grinder smoothing over the scars left by the fire. The meticulousness of hands perfecting the smallest details. The leaf spring, the spine of the suspension, is carefully welded. The weld is cleaned, not just for aesthetics, but for durability. The metal dust falls once more, a ritual of purification. The new surface must be smooth and even, ready for a new beginning. The work repeats on every part, patiently and relentlessly. Finally, he inspects his work, ensuring everything is ready. A new chapter begins. The tire is cleaned from the inside out. The parts that cannot be saved will be cut away. And new life is breathed into it with the fire of an arc weld. The kneeling posture shows dedication and respect for the work. After the flame dies, the gentle care begins, wiping away the remnants of the regeneration process. Now they are ready for a new coat, a declaration of restored strength. Even the old wheel, after being painted, looks brighter and renewed. The bright color of the rear axle creates a contrast, a hopeful new chapter. The assembly begins. The brake components are installed with care. Every bolt, every bearing is a note in this symphony of life. New grease is applied like blood flowing to nourish the body. And then the wheel is mounted, ready to roll on new roads. The second tire is put into place, quickly and efficiently. It takes two people to carry a heavy burden, just as it takes faith to rebuild from the ashes. They don't say much to each other. Their hands are in perfect understanding. The meticulousness of assembly, a process demanding precision and care. The old wheel is removed, a release from the past, to make way for the future. The restored skeleton is now reconnected to the world. The sound of the impact wrench rings out, a final confirmation. One life cycle has ended. A new one begins. But the story is not over. There's always a deeper layer to explore. There's always a heart that needs healing. A gentle tap, not to break, but to awaken. Sometimes the burden is too great for one person to bear. Cooperation is once again the key. The patience required to scrape away each thin layer of rust. The green gloves carefully remove the dirt, returning the metal to its original state. And then a new coat of paint is applied, a protection for a new life. Everything is reassembled with meticulous care. Every part, no matter how small, has its role. No detail is superfluous in a complete body. The suspension system, which bears all weight, is reborn, ready to face every rugged road ahead. Skill is not found in strength, but in understanding the structure of all things. And now it is time to go deeper, into the deepest place, the heart of the machine. The engine, where strength and soul reside, has also been worn down by time. The craftsman begins a complex surgery. Opening the machine's chest to find the root of its decay. Dirt and grease like sedimentary layers of memory. The cylinder head is removed, revealing the world within. The place where millions of explosions once created life. It takes both strength and finesse to separate parts that have been bound for years. Next is the ritual of cleansing with pressurized water. In another space, the fuel injection system is also being tended to. This is a job that demands absolute precision. The cooperation between two people shows the complexity of the work. Meanwhile, the crankshaft, the engine spine, is also being recreated. Fire and metal dance together once more. Sparks fly, creating a perfect surface for a new beginning. This process repeats, patient and relentless, until perfection is achieved. The last sparks fade. The crankshaft has been ground. The engine block, no longer an inanimate block of metal. It is being awakened, the cylinder bores cleaned, ready for the pistons. The cylinder head, the brain of the engine, is also meticulously cared for. Every channel, every opening must be clear. The gleaming surface, a promise of performance. And then a vibrant orange is applied. The color of energy of life. The craftsman cleans the final details before assembly. The valves are hammered into place like keys that will unlock power. The bearings are set, a foundation for endless revolutions. The sound of the wrench rings out, binding everything as one. The piston, the true heart, is guided into its home. Each part returns to its rightful place. The oil seal is installed to prevent any leaks. To keep the energy flowing in only one direction. The drivetrain, the bridge between power and motion. The alternator, which gives light and life to other systems. Everything slowly becomes whole. The clutch plate, the point of contact for power. And finally, a masterpiece is complete. An engine not just repaired, but reborn. Ready to roar with the sound of life once again. The work continues, meticulous and precise. Every fuel line is a vein. Every connection is a promise of endurance. The exhaust is attached, ready to exhale its first breath. The engine cover is closed, protecting the heart that waits to beat. But another part of the body is still ailing, the gearbox. Inside is a chaotic mess of fatigue and damage. The gears have been worn down by time and pressure. Once again, the flame of recreation is lit. The craftsman, with necessary protection, begins the cleansing process, cleaning each gear, returning to them their original sharpness. The progress is visible. New parts are installed, replacing what was lost. Precision is paramount. And then a coat of gloss black paint is applied. Now body and soul are ready to unite. The engine is lowered into the frame. A momentous occasion when all the effort begins to crystallize into form. The drivetrain is connected, the bridge between will and action. The fuel tank is installed, ready to receive energy. But the vehicle's body tells another story of devastation. Rust has eaten deep into every fiber of metal. Inside the cabin, life has long since departed. Another major surgery begins, dismantling almost everything to rebuild from scratch. Only the bare frame remains. The craftsman watches, not in despair but in calculation. He knows what he must do. The welding flame is lit once more. To create a new skin for the vehicle. The hammer is used to reshape what has been deformed. The cutter removes the parts that cannot be saved, creating new metal sheets that fit perfectly, and then welding them into place, a process that demands infinite patience. A combination of strength and subtlety. The bright orange flame, once again, is a symbol of creation. The metal pieces are carefully prepared before becoming part of the body, shaped by hammer and anvil, and then welded into place with another technique. The angle grinder smooths the welds, turning separate pieces into a unified whole. The work repeats. Every part of the vehicle is cared for. The door, the gateway to the world within, is also removed for repair, removing what is damaged. Cleaning and preparing for restoration. The door is welded. The welds are smoothed. And then it is reinstalled. The gateway is solid once more. A layer of filler is used to seal the last cracks, preparing the surface for the final step. A coat of silver gray paint is sprayed on. A new skin, gleaming and strong. The truck from a pile of scrap has been resurrected. A testament to the power of will and skill. The process continues inside the cabin. The once dead space is now being filled again. The dashboard is installed. The old seat, a witness to journeys past, is kept and returned to its place of honor. The front of the vehicle is assembled. It takes 2 people to finish the job. The side panel and mirror, the final details complete the look. But there is still one more part to be built. The cargo bed, which will carry new hopes and burdens. The metal beams are cleaned and repainted. The fabrication process begins. The welding flame once again becomes the artist's tool, welding each part, cutting the metal. And then 3 people install it together. Cooperation creates strength, welding the final joints. In this small workshop, miracles are happening. And sometimes a woman's hand brings the necessary finesse. And then, from the ashes and effort, the truck has been completely transformed. It rolls on the road, not just a machine, but a living legend. An untitled story, written in sweat and metal. The truck now carries more than just cargo. It carries the soul of its creators. Every turn of the wheel is a silent thank you. It will travel to new lands, witness new stories. And in the roar of its engine is the voice of resilience. That no end is ever final. There are only transformations, cycles of life and rebirth. The craftsmen return to their silence. Their joy is found in the sound of a reborn engine. Somewhere else, another pile of scrap is waiting for a pair of hands patient enough to listen to its story. Because in this world, nothing truly dies. If it is still loved, A very special thank you to the owner of the YouTube channel at Restoration Skills for creating this wonderful video and allowing me to comment. If you enjoyed this narrative, please visit and support their channel at the link in the description below.